Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the IGAD consultative meeting to establish the single visa system. For the international scene, the rising numbers of Palestinian children killed by Israeli occupation authorities. Welcome to our newsroom. Today, the Djibouti city and the regions of the interior was get up in the rains. Earlier this morning, the rains of the summer rains known as Karma season is in all the capital city of Djibouti. As we look in these images, the little floodings in the street and the neighborhoods, the people's neighborhoods of the capital city of Djibouti was flooded. The Republic of Djibouti is hosting today for the first time the work of the 15th ministerial meeting of member countries of the African Renewable Energy Initiative. Indeed, this high-level meeting began today with the holding of a technical workshop as a prelude to the officials' opening of the ministerial meeting scheduled for tomorrow by the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Yunus Ali Ghedi. This two-day workshop will be an opportunity for all participants, in particular the RA countries' focal point, to consult and discuss the two themes on the agenda for the first time for the first day, namely renewable energy policy and regulation in Africa, and ways and means of increasing private investment in renewable energy projects in Africa. It should be noted that Africa is the continent with the largest infrastructure investment gap in the world. And for his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Energy, Mr. Mohamed Kide, said that the energy sectors represent about 30% of the investment in these infrastructures, which consequently translate into the low rate of access to modern energy services. In addition, the absence of the well-defined programs and financially viable projects is a major problem, and the private sector is not equipped to assess, develop, and prepare projects in terms of risks, costs, and durations. In this regard, exploiting the continent's strong renewable energy potentials is therefore one of the means of supporting economic diversifications and the transitions to a new, more low-carbon development model. And today's RA workshop is part of this. The opening ceremony of the consultative meeting to establish the IGAD single visa scheme took place today at IGAD headquarters, marking a major milestones in regional cooperation. The main objective of this meeting is to lay the foundations for a single visa system within IGAD in order to facilitate the free movement of people within the member countries. The event, which was chaired by Dr. Workney Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, and Madam Fathia Alwan Abu Bakr, the Director of the Health Divisions of IGAD. Among the specific objectives of the meeting is the presentations of the provisions adopted regarding to the protocol of free movement of persons, as well as the realizations of an explanatory presentations aimed at defining the legal, technical, and administrative requirements necessary for the implementation success of this initiative. The event caught the attentions of the ambassadors from IGAD member countries who actively participate in the discussions and deliberations. This participation demonstrates the member countries' commitment to creating the harmonizing system that will facilitate the movement of citizens while maintaining high safety standards. The establishment of a single visa system within the IGAD marks a step towards greater regional integration, is strengthening ties between member countries and opening up new opportunities for cooperation and sustainable development. For his part, the Director of IGAD Health Division, Madam Fathia Alwana Abu Bakr, underlined the importance of these initiatives in the current context of globalization. Listen for more details.
It's an important consultation, the single visa. And also, as Madame Lucy has rightly said, is also linked to our protocol of free movement of persons. We should also not forget that IGAD is a regional economic community which is also linked to the African Union, and one of our main agenda is about the regional integration. So regional integration means the mobility of people in our region. Having said that, this also process of the single visa, of course, will reinforce the cooperation among member states, but also the travelers from other parts of the world, and also will boost also our economy. I will not also again just to go far, but I would like to thank you so much.
In his remarks, Dr. Workneh Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, highlighted the innovative natures of the single visa initiative. Listen to him, please.
Assembled today with a shared purpose on the resonate with the aspiration of the women and men from our own member states, a purpose centered around the realization of unified electronic visa system for our region. Your Excellencies, in this dynamic and interconnected world and also continent, the advantage of unified electronic visa for the IGAD region are obvious, multifaceted, and far-reaching. By facilitating seamless travel, this initiative has the potential to catalyze transformative benefits across many and various dimensions. Let us look at the comparative statistics drawn from our continental other regional organizations like ECOWAS and East African Community. The ECOWAS region implementation of visa-free regime for the citizen has shown a commendable result and has demonstrated the spirit of real integration. When they implemented it, there was an immediate and significant increase in intra-regional tourism with an estimated rise of over 40%, 40, in travel within the region. Furthermore, ECOWAS region experienced an impressive 15% boost in trade volume, only because of they decided to have a free movement of people with free visa. In light of this success, the potential gains for our IGAD region are undeniable, or we are not testing this alone. In fact, we are a little bit behind. The unified electronic visa will not only stimulate tourism, but also invigorate cross-border trade.
The Djiboutian Army women's team returned to the countries on August 26, 2023 after participating with determination and commitment in the prestigious CAF Women's Champions League 2023 held in Uganda. Despite the physical and technical efforts made through the competition, our Djibouti soldiers did not achieve a final victory. The Djiboutian Army too warmly congratulates its athletes for their exceptional performance on the regional scene, in particular by the warm welcome reserved for them at the airport. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, said also the end results did not live up to our expectations. We are incredibly proud of the effort and the determination that our players showed through the tournament. Their participation in the CAF Women's Champions League demonstrates the ability of the Djiboutian Army to support and encourage the development of women in all fields, including sport. The significant human and material resources of the National Gendarmerie had to be employed on the National Road 1 last Thursday, more precisely on the rise of the locality of Wea, where a truck transporting a large quantity of structural steel rods lost in its load. These situations having caused the blockage of traffic on these portions of the road. The gendarmes of Wi'a Road Safety Brigade immediately intervened. The gendarmerie lifted the crans, was dispatched to the scenes and succeeded in clearing the load from the roadway before loading it onto another track. After several hours of regulations, the roadway was reopened to traffic. Fortunately, no human victims are to be deplored. At these times, when there is an upsurge in accidents on national road, it is very wise for all motorists to respect the provisions of the highway code. It should be also noted that the gendarmerie operational centers can be reached 24 hours for 7 days a week to mobilize the personnel deployed along the national corridors in order to allow a rapid and adequate interventions. The heading to the north of the countries, or the National Coordination Office of Migration is organized a workshop to present the national strategy for migrations on the 5-year action plans in the Tajura region. The workshop was launched in the presence of the first deputy prefect of the region, Mr. Habib Jilani Burhan, the local elected representative of the regional council, Mr. Maki Hamad Maki, and the international organization for migration project manager, Mr. Abdullah Muhammad Burhan, and the 2 representatives of the coordination offices, Muhammad Haloita Hassan and Ms. Amana Awale Umar. The general objectives of this workshop was to disseminate the national strategy for migrations as well as its action plan and the referral guide for vulnerable migrants, but also to agree on the priorities in terms of migrations management at the decentralized levels. This workshop enabled each actors and stakeholders to actively contribute to the implementation of the 5-year action plans by defining priority theme. As a reminder, the management of the migratory flows and assistance to migrants is one of the priority of the Djiboutian government, which signed in December 2018. The Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration. The first deputy prefect of the Tajura region, Mr. Habib Jilani, said that it is essential to emphasize the decisive role of each actors and stakeholders in the discussions and reflections that led to concrete recommendations. For his part, the International Organization for Migration's representative said that the International Organization for Migrations continues to work with the government of Djibouti and its partners to implement the commitments made when signing this pact and to establish structures and frameworks for human and orderly management migrations in Djibouti. In the south of the countries, and more precisely in Ali Sabih, the directions of the regional hospital, Dr. Ahmed Absiye Warsama of Ali Sabih, at its head, the general director, Dr. Abraham Maidan Kidani, undertook the complete equipment by modern care materials of the entities of care of ophthalmology previously the hospital had received in the courses of the last May medical control devices, more precisely to 128 bar MRI scanners, the strengthening of blood bank, and the ecological incinerator for medical waste. Knowing that since its inauguration in March 2016 by the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, this modern medical center provides diagnosis, monitoring, and treatment of the sick, injured, and pregnant women, and also carries out actions, preventions, and health education. This health structure with recent non-detached architectures has all the technical platforms in forces in the Republic of Djibouti. The various medical care offered are general medicines, ophthalmology, stomatology, pediatric emergencies, maternity, orthopedic, and visceral abdominal surgery, and of course resuscitation services. This establishment satisfactorily covers the medical care needs of the inhabitants of the 2 southern regions, Ali Sabih and Dakhil. New medical equipment that will allow consultations and the prescriptions of corrective lenses and glasses to patients wishing to correct their sight. In this editorial edition concerning sport, a spotlight on the Arta Solar 7 Club, which took place a giant step in qualifying for the second rounds of the 2023-2024 CAF Confederation Cup, beating twice on the same scores the horse teams. For the second rounds, the Arta Solar 7s will face a historical club of the continent, in this case Zamalek, one of the biggest clubs of Egypt. You should know that the project of the president of the club, Mr. Tomi Tayoro Nikos, has given this fruit by investing in these world-class players, and this has allowed local players to progress and become professional. The first leg is scheduled for September 17, 2023, while the return match on Egyptian soil is scheduled for October 1st, 2023. For the international scene, Israeli army and borders police occupation forces kill Palestinian children. Listen to the report.
Children in the West Bank for 15 years in 2023 is set to match or exceed 2022 levels. As of August 2022, the Israeli occupation authorities have killed at least 34 Palestinian children in the West Bank. Human Rights Watch investigated 4 cases of fatal shootings by the Israeli occupiers, resulting in the deaths of Palestinian children between November 2022 and March 2023.
It was August 28, 1963. The words spoken at the times by Martin Luther King in front of an impressive crowd. Listen to Dini Musa for more details.
I have a dream. It was August 28, 1963. The words, uttered at that time by Martin Luther King in front of an impressive crowd, have gone down in history. The American pastor devoted his life to breaking the shackles of segregation. On August 28, 1963, before a crowd of over 250,000 gathered in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., Martin Luther King Jr. delivered a speech that would become one of the most powerful expressions of the call for equality and justice.
The discovery of a 3,000-year-old tomb in Peru. Listen to this report with Dini Musa.
Peru, a 3,000-year-old tomb has been unearthed, potentially evoking the tribute paid to an elite religious leader from the Andean region some 3 millennia ago. Nicknamed the priest of Pacobampa in reference to the highland archaeological zone where the burial was unveiled, this individual lay beneath 6 strata of ash mixed with black earth. The discovery of richly decorated ceramic bowls and seals suggesting the past use of ritual body paint, typical of high-stature individuals, was announced in a communication from Peru's Ministry of Culture the previous Saturday.
And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.